Hello everyone and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Where we left off last time, I mentioned at the end I would replay this segment up to this point. I had to replay the whole game, thankfully. That would take like a few days. Only up to the beginning of this portion of the trial, which thankfully did not take very long. So I'm going to go ahead and continue and see what we can do with Darian's testimony. Because he claims that he knows about the cocoon, but he can't sell them on the black market because they're too dangerous, according to Darian. Anyway, let's keep going. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You can't sneak up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky. Very well. You may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Not that one. Not that one. No, that one. Not that one. Icteritis syndrome, first case in country. This has to be it. Okay. Let's present this. Objection! Got it. Why not choose a less dangerous... Wait, what? Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my geese to it goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's... A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for icteritis. Icteritis? I've heard that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's the disease that Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. You would have contact with the Chief Justice. You're sane. You are sane. The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life. But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Cosen's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Cosen, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So me to deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Bulgaria Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about Cocoon's getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Bulgarian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I'd sure like to know. Hang on. Gavin's guitar.
Objection!
Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country. No checks. What is that? What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was in that you told me yesterday in your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting of a woman like Lemuel. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Bulgaria? That it is. We couldn't just carry it on a plane. Previous air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lemuel's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets of vacuum packed in Bulgaria. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... with cocoons that's this small? It would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Bulgaria. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory here for it. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this in fact. An igniter! Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone who had access, like a member of the band. Yo, work! His hair. Order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. Precaution? Airflowhead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lemuel's ballad? Hang on. Okay. Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lemuel's ballad, if you please. First, my keys were stolen. A harmless misdemeanor. Or so it seems. Which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon would confiscate it, then the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch. Now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died. With them you're there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story? It makes a great deal of sense, Darian. Feh! The Republic of Burgundia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's even make up a story for that, kid. How did I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Burgundian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lemure heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch. Now! You mean this transmission from backstage? While your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it. The coup de grace. The coup de grace. I think that's how you say that. Coup de grace. And for once I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned. With a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? That would be Machi.
Take that!
There is only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tobey. But Mr. Justice, he's your client. A defense attorney accuses his client? That's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche. And I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Burgundian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lemure? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is the electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works for a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lemure was in the air vent. Right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Excuse me, I'm actually doing my laundry right now. I'm looking at my timer, so I'm just seeing how much time is left in there. Anyway, let's look at the stage from a diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lemure still could have done the deed. No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lemure stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lemure's position in the air vent. Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honor. Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time? Well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has to wait out of this? Too bad, so sad. Punk. Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing the ring fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us, non-musician? Care to explain for us, non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the lead pianist to set off that igniter? That's right? Yes? Well, in order to do that, you'd have to press the switch. Am I right? Okay. We'll take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. Man, you still don't get it? Ah. Yeah. How's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Mr. Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. Demure. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. The piano plays non-stop. You couldn't have pressed that switch. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo? Were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How can it all just... Strange. Well, what's strange? No, it's just... something that's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Machi Tobey didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice. You claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact he says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here are some facts for you. Giver's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tobey the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Machi's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. Arg! What do I do? What do I do? Ack! There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd. Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Excuse me, I have to pause my recording. I'll be right back. Okay, back. I just had to put my laundry in the dryer. Something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove that Machi Tobey pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi Tubei pressed that switch? I can prove it. I don't know if you can call this proof, per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Forehead, you're sure about this? Ha! Accepted. There's no evidence. Man. Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch? That would be the mixing board, actually.
Take that!
The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part, around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Okay, just as a precaution, I'm going to save my game here. Just in case I lose too much health, I'll just reload it and go back. Oh, it's automatic. I didn't do it. I have a piano being played. But, doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with... Hang on. He could play the piano with the other. Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant? Actually, no. Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands. So sorry. So sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. It was always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played with one hand or 2? You can't. I admit it. It will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No way. Well, it seems we have come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame. Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Here we turn off all the sounds except the 4th segment. The 4th section here. We present the 1st segment here. Okay, I did save my game a minute ago. You might be able to tell that I paused the recording. I did save it again, so I'm going to go ahead and present this.
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realized it yourself, Airforehead. Realize what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to to the but a fleeting melody phrase. Man, how many times do I have to listen to the same thing? You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flame in the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot, in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." We'll play verse 2 again. Here we go. There, did you hear that? They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different. Okay. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to have to pause the video recording again. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. It might seem a bit unusual, but I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. The next video, I'm just going to give you a forewarning here. It will likely be less than 20 minutes long. Like I said earlier, I really want this to be 12 videos and not 11. I'm kind of picky in that regard, so until next time, everyone, when we will finish up this case, no matter what, have a great rest of your day, and take care.